What if the perfect partner you're looking for is not so perfect after all? Have you ever pondered on this intriguing question? As we navigate through the complexities of modern dating, we often find ourselves grappling with the idea of perfection. But what if these standards we've set are not just high but unrealistically high? What if we're unknowingly limiting our chances in the pursuit of an elusive perfection? Intriguing, isn't it? Let's dive into the world of modern dating and explore what's really happening. We live in a world where it is necessary and natural to want to seek out a partner. That partner would have shared interest and values. This in turn creates a family. In the world of modern dating, we often find a list of must-haves. These can range from the superficial, a certain height, a specific job, or a particular type of humor, to more substantial criteria such as shared values or similar life goals. Yet it's important to note that while having standards is crucial in finding a compatible partner, there's a fine line between having preferences and setting expectations that are unrealistic. Many women today, perhaps unknowingly, are setting these unrealistic expectations. They look for a partner who checks all the boxes on their list, which often results in an endless search. This isn't to say that women should settle for less, but rather, it's about understanding that no one is perfect and focusing on what truly matters in a relationship. So, what contributes to these high standards? A significant influence is our society and media. Romantic movies and novels often portray an idealized image of love and relationships. They depict characters that are almost too perfect to be real, leading to the creation of an unrealistic Prince Charming archetype. Social media platforms also play a role. With people showcasing the best parts of their lives, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison. It's important to remember, however, that what we see online is often a curated version of reality, not the whole truth. Another factor is our own self-perception and self-worth. We often set our standards based on how we see ourselves. If we have a high self-esteem, we are likely to set high standards because we believe we deserve the best. While this isn't necessarily a bad thing, it can become problematic if it leads to an endless pursuit of perfection. So, we see that today's dating standards can sometimes be more of a hindrance than a help. But how does this compare to previous generations? Scene script. Let's travel back in time to when our grandparents were young and in love. Picture this. A time when dating was less about swiping right on the most attractive profile and more about finding someone who shared your values and dreams. A time when relationship milestones weren't measured in Instagram posts, but in shared moments and mutual growth. This was the dating landscape of previous generations. Back then, dating was a dance of compatibility. It wasn't about finding someone who ticked all the boxes on an impossible checklist. Instead, it was about finding someone you could build a life with, someone who made everyday moments feel extraordinary. It was about shared laughter, shared dreams, and shared struggles. In those days, the focus was less on perfection and more on partnership. It wasn't about finding a partner who was flawless, it was about finding a partner who was willing to grow with you, to face challenges with you, and to celebrate victories with you. It was about finding someone who would stand by your side, come what may. It was a time when love wasn't a competition to find the most attractive, most successful, or most charming partner. It was about finding someone who would stand by your side through the highs and lows of life. It was about finding love that was real, love that was lasting, and love that was rooted in shared values and compatibility. And what was the result of these dating standards? Strong, resilient relationships that stood the test of time. Relationships built on mutual respect, shared goals, and a deep understanding of each other's strengths and weaknesses. Relationships that weren't perfect, but were perfect for each other. So we see that dating standards have significantly changed over the years, but what does this mean for women's dating pool today? Let's delve deeper into this in the next scene. With these towering standards, what happens to the average Joe? Well, let's dive into that. Imagine a pool, a dating pool. Now this pool is filled with all sorts of people. Some are tall, some are short, some are athletic, while others are bookworms. The variety is the spice of life, right? But if you're only looking for that tall, athletic bookworm with a six-figure salary, you're effectively shrinking that pool down to a puddle. You see, these unrealistic standards can significantly limit your dating pool. You might be overlooking potential partners who could be a perfect fit for you, but they don't meet every single one of your criteria. Sure, they might not be a CEO or look like a movie star, but they could be the one who makes you laugh until your sides hurt or supports you when you're feeling low. We're not saying to throw all your standards out the window. No, not at all. Standards are important. They help you identify what you want in a partner. But it's also important to remember that nobody's perfect. We all have our quirks and idiosyncrasies, so give all men a chance, not just the ones who tick every box. You never know, you might find that the guy who didn't meet your initial criteria is actually a better fit for you than the perfect one you imagined. So perhaps the perfect partner isn't so perfect after all? In the journey of finding love, it's important to remember that nobody's perfect. Throughout this discussion, we've traversed the landscape of modern dating standards and compared them with those of previous generations. We've seen how the evolving expectations and ideals have shaped the dating pool, and in some cases, have created barriers to finding meaningful connections. Unrealistic standards can significantly limit dating opportunities. While it's natural to have preferences and ideals, it's crucial to remember that everyone has their own set of strengths and weaknesses. It's about finding someone whose strengths complement your weaknesses and vice versa. The importance of giving all men a chance cannot be overstated. Just because someone doesn't tick every box on your checklist doesn't mean they're not worth your time. Each individual brings to the table a unique blend of qualities, experiences, and perspectives. So, in the quest for love, remember to look beyond the checklist and give love a real chance.